So here, let me show you something. This is Washington, D.C., the Washington Monument, and some measurements. Is it not? Look where that measurement comes from. On the west side, on the side of the World War II Memorial. Measurement from that side of the Washington Monument to that point right there is 888.88 feet. And the heading is 88.88 degrees. You know, I can't get this thing to stop perfectly. But what I'm trying to prove to you is this. Where that yellow line stops, this is where I, the great insurrectionist, stopped. Towards the Washington Capitol. I just recently went up into the Washington Monument on a most perfected day and found out a little bit more information. But isn't that interesting? Without me knowing at all, the measurements from the Washington Monument, not the middle of it, but on that side of it, the World War II side. To that point, this is where I came, and I walked back and forth, parallel to that street, deciding whether I wanted to go to the Washington Monument. This was at high noon, 1/6/21, the so-called Insurrectionist Day. But here, I shall show you another measurement. Do you see where they're going? They're going to the Capitol building. One to the middle of the Senate, one to the middle of Congress, the representatives. Right to the very middle of their chambers, if they be directly in the middle of that building. And here, a blow up of those buildings. Right to the middle. Do you know how many feet it is from the very middle of those two chambers to where I roamed in a field of grass? The measurement, my dear people, is 6,666.666 feet. I had no idea. No idea at all. I have measured certain things around Washington, D.C. There are some interesting measurements. But I had no idea when I showed up and I did my walking around and engaging with the people at the demonstration, at the gathering. I wouldn't even call it a demonstration. At the gathering. I had no idea. I had no idea even what I was going to do when I went there. But after coming from the subway, metro, up in this area here, walking down, enjoying the crowd, actually walking down this way, coming down, enjoying the crowd, and see how many hundreds of thousands of people were there and everything. I ended up in going over here and meandering back and forth this way. Let me show you. Meandering back and forth this way. Looking at the signs, looking at the people, looking at the Capitol building, wondering whether I was wanting to go there or not. It's a nice brisk day, not too cold, still a brisk day. I knew what was about to happen. I knew there was going to be a large gathering there, and I know when you have a large mass of people, you have people who do strange things. But here I walked back and forth right in this area right here, not knowing that it was exactly 6,666.66 feet to the middle of each chamber, and not knowing that it was 888.88 feet to the other side of the Washington Monument. No idea, none whatsoever, no concept. But yet when I came home and put the measurements on it, I knew why the one Father in heaven let Jesus Christ lead me to this particular spot and meander back and forth this particular area and thinking the thoughts that I thought. I ended up and deciding to go back home, and obviously I went down this way and back this way to see the crowds. So there you go. Who were the insurrectionists? Well, obviously, I was the most powerful of all the insurrectionists, because the one Father in heaven put me in the exact spot to be able to claim that I am the one that was the most powerful of that insurrection, which was not an insurrection. There you go. No sense of making this very long. You got the story. There you go. And here, let's make a quick video on the 14th Dalai Lama. As you see, the Buddhist, well, look, my date's in the way. The Buddhist Congressional Church. Now, in 1986-87, there was a house there. And that is the Vietnam property. That house was owned by Vietnam, I found out later and everything. And here we have the 6th Presbyterian Church. And is it not the great Presbyterian Cathedral that was damaged in the earthquake? But here, I've got to show you a few things. And as you see, just the first cross street up here is Morrow Drive that turns into, oh man, oh, way over there, Kennedy Street. Look at that. Kennedy Street turns into Morrow Drive. A man named Morrow claimed to have bought the weapons that killed Kennedy. And one of the so-called Secret Service agents at the assassination of on 1/22